Apparently, a new trilogy of movies are coming out. They didn't necessarily say in what order, but I think just recently they announced that Daisy Ridley is going to be an Obi-Wan style character in this new trilogy. So assumptions there for a lot of people online have been 10, 11, 12 for the series. How are you guys feeling about this? How does this news hit you? Let's go, Biz.
Yeah, definitely pretty mixed. It just comes back to like, this just feels kind of like the same old kind of game plan, really. And this is unrelated, but being a Chicago Bears fan, I mean, we just fired our offensive coordinator. I could go on, but just making the same mistakes here. But yeah, we announced Lucasfilm announced a bunch of movies a couple of years after Rise of Skywalker and projects, and maybe half of them have seen the light of day, other than half of them have been canned. Right. They announced, I thought last year at around the same time, the 3 movies we had. They already had said Daisy Ridley is going to come back for a type of movie, the Dave Filoni movie, and then the Dawn of the Jedi movie. It's just like they keep getting ahead of themselves. When it's like, okay, we know one of those movies is probably going to come out, like the Mandalorian movie, the Dave Filoni, or I guess Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni-esque movie will come out. Haven't heard much on the Dawn of the Jedi, and then they're like, okay, I think we're good to take that one idea we had for the Daisy Ridley movie. Let's make a trilogy now. It's like, okay, it seems a bit like jumping the gun again. Like, yeah, maybe put a movie out first and see how it does. I don't know. Maybe not that, but I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, no, I totally get it. It's at this point with Lucasfilm and Star Wars, you gotta wonder if this is actually gonna happen. And going off of that, Hunter, do you think this is actually gonna happen?
It's so hard telling with them. To be honest, it makes no difference if it happens to me or not, because we already know it's just going to be awful no matter what direction they take it. So if it does happen, cool. Probably won't watch it. If it doesn't happen, then I definitely won't watch it. I'm not going to lose sleep over it. That's for sure. But I mean, if it's like Bismo said, it seems like we're jumping the gun on everything we do, which is classic Disney. You'd think they'd care more about the projects that were supposedly canceled. Didn't they have talks about revoking canon for 7 through 9? So now they're building onto it.
Yeah, well,
or was that a rumor?
It might have been just a rumor. I'm not 100% sure. I think I definitely heard some rumors that they might, or at least a lot of people online that are real fans are like, or some fans are saying, get rid of those 3. If you decanonize those, then you might have a better, stepping platform moving forward. Because I mean, a lot of it unfortunately leads to 7, 8, and 9. At least when it comes to a lot of the division among fans. So that's definitely a rumor that's gone around. I don't know if they've ever confirmed that, but speaking of, so Simon Kinberg is actually the one who's slated, the writer, to be more involved with this. And I did want to mention a few things that he's done. And to your point, both of your points there, I think a lot of it's, Kathleen Kennedy and Lucasfilm at this point, I feel like it's like strike while the iron's hot. Like they only look for people that have had a success. And then if you like have one miss, they drop you. They drop you like it's nothing. I mean, we've seen that time and time again. Like Benioff, was it Benioff and Weiss who did the Game of Thrones, and then the last season didn't really hit, and I think they dropped them, or it could have been creative differences. There's a lot of problems. There's so many directors and writers that have got on board with Lucasfilm just to see it go by the wayside. So, yeah. Did you have something there, Biz?
Well, no, I was just gonna say KG makes a good point. Like, I saw this announcement too, and this wasn't like Lucasfilm didn't announce that like for sure they're doing this, right? This is just like a lot of different sources, Hollywood Insider, yada yada. So like which makes it very likely that that's probably the ideas, and like I don't think this is false. Like I bet it's true, but they haven't officially announced it, so I don't want to give them complete to like they technically haven't announced it yet. I would just advise, caution of not jumping the gun if this is actually what's going on in there. But, I will say when they actually announced the 3 movies last year, and one of them was that Daisy Ridley movie, when they said, they said it's just going to be one movie, in my mind, I was like, what's the point of doing it if you're not going to try to do some kind of, like, what's the point of like bringing back the characters just to do one movie, like to just make a certain, smaller section of the fan base happy or what? I feel like if you are going to do it, you probably do need to do a new trilogy, but you got to do it you got to do something new. It can't be copy paste like the rest of it. And you got to do something that will obviously be different than the course of action they've currently taken. Personally, though, I still would revert back to they should focus on one project at a time. I've been trying to vocalize this, but getting a lot of mediocre projects lately because they're so stretched thin. How about you see how the Mandalorian movie does, or
right.
not have to see how it does, make it as good as possible to know it's going to do well, to then make, at the next movie that airs the Empire or whatever that is, and do a trilogy. Focus on that first. Don't get ahead of yourselves. That's
a great point. No, that's a fantastic point. Fact checker, what about you? Coming at this one, how do you feel about a female-led Rey potential series? Yeah, thank you, Bismo, for correcting us on that. For as far as it's not been confirmed yet, these are rumors, and
it's just so funny to me how they're specific rumors. Like we already have the director or producer, or whatever he's going to be.
Like Simon Kinberg's been.
It's very likely it's true. Lucasfilm didn't put out a statement, right? Like it's kind of a question too, right?
Yeah, correct. Absolutely. Yeah, yep. You're right there for sure. And I mean, I think has he been talking about it, Simon Kinberg? I think he talked about it a little bit. And we knew Daisy Ridley was coming on for the Rey movie, and she had let slip a few times that there might be multiple movies. So this might have actually been planned longer, but I'm not 100% sure. Again, this is rumor. But how do you feel about this when it comes to the Rey trilogy?
I guess I don't have a lot of excitement over it right now.
Okay.
But again, I'll hold out hope that they'll figure some things out. They've got a few years, I guess, to write and create these 3 movies and hopefully listen to the fans and see what's worked from a business perspective as far as making money.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, the her being the lead, it makes me nervous. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, I think Daisy Ridley is a great actress. I don't have anything specific against her. I don't think any of us here do. I think it's just more the character and the character development with her. And I kind of like what Hunter had to say earlier. I don't know if we want to repeat about when we were talking slightly before. What was the quote you said, Hunter, about this trilogy?
About how I'm not going to lose sleep over it?
Well, no, I'm talking about the SpongeBob episode.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah. How many times are we going to have to teach you this lesson, old man? So this is just more proof they don't listen, if it is true.
I mean, it's a bit aggressive, but
they don't learn either.
Yeah, that's
right.
Because even if you should listen to fans, but you should be able to read the room. It's like, okay, what's done well, what hasn't done, what worked? Well, maybe look at some of the things George Lucas did. Well, he made high quality movies where that was the only project. There wasn't a million things going on.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
You could even argue the fact it's like, well, where do we go from here? Well, you take 7 through 9 and you turn around and go the complete opposite direction, and you'll probably have more success.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. Because that was technically, it was diminishing returns, which should have been, just a growth over time. Yeah. But if you look at the actual how much they actually made, they made less and less with each movie, and for how divisive they were in the fan base, how much they blamed the fans for so much. I agree. And unfortunately, to me, the biggest thing, again, nothing against Daisy Ridley, but her character was probably the least interesting out of almost everybody in the trilogy, for the fact that she just didn't have a character arc. There was mostly plot armor, and we're watching her do things, but we're really not watching her struggle too much. We're not really watching her learn a lot of lessons along the way. There's just not much of an arc there. So for me, it's uninteresting. I'm not as interested to see her, but it does sound like they might be trying to bring on a totally new cast to hopefully set the record straight.
That she would train, or
that she would train.
Again, all rumors.
Which, Go ahead, Biz.
Well, from what you're saying, and the rumor is like she'd take on this Obi-Wan like give advice role, but like to go off your point, how do you give advice if you haven't gone through hardship though? Like, how do you actually give advice when you yourself haven't been challenged? You know, it's like that doesn't make sense. You know?
Yeah, she's like, the only credit to my name is destroying all of the Skywalkers and then taking their name for myself.
Yeah, like how do you build on this in 3 more movies? I can't see it, but maybe someone's more creative.
Well, and then that's the thing. I mean, they're going to have to show us like character development off screen. Are they going to be alluding to her past after episode 9 that she actually had some character growth?
Yeah.
But no, great takes, everybody. I think we've covered that quite well. We'll see if it actually happens.
So let's say it actually does happen now. When, like, how far out are we? You know, like this discussion, it's so like, it's like, okay, everyone gets this news comes out. It's like, okay, if it actually happens, what are we looking at? It's almost 2025. I think at least 3 years. So like maybe 2028. But they're doing the Mandalorian movie, and I thought they were doing the Dave Filoni movie. So then you start to ask more questions, like, okay, like, when's this? How is this gonna happen? When's this gonna happen? And to come back to like, okay, they need a good story, they need to win, and also to appease the most amount of fans. Why wouldn't you just put all your eggs into the Mandalorian? Because that's probably the only thing they've done well to some extent. Like,
proven success.
You know, it's proven success. Season 3 obviously dipped off a little bit, but Mandalorian is one of the most. It was a thing. Like, it was extremely viral. Like, you should be trying to make that work, because if you can't make that movie work, there is no way that they can do the other movie. Yeah. So I don't know. Focus on the first battle.
No, great. Yeah, well said. Yeah, and the only other thing I've heard some rumors about was, and I don't know if you guys have heard this as well, was there was another movie slated for 2026. Because
is it the Lando movie or the Taika?
I don't know. I don't think they've fully announced anything, but some people were wondering if that was supposed to be the Rey movie and might still be the first of that trilogy. That they just haven't announced it yet.
Oh wow.
I don't know though, but I feel like we would have heard more about them filming and working on different things. But I mean, obviously Daisy's been around now for a little while. They paraded her out in front of everybody to mild applause. I forget even when that was. It was Star Wars Celebration, I think. Was it last year or the year before even? I don't even remember for how long it's been since they've been talking about the Rey movie. But there's possibility that it might be the beginning trilogy, that would be the Rey movie.
Fast.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's no way.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
Although it would be horrible then. Like, how?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I mean, to play, what if it's not actually the sequels and she's just playing a different character?
So they're doing like a different character.
Like,
Yikes.
they said Obi-Wan but what if she's a different character in a different timeline? And
pretty fun.
I would be more excited for that than I would be.
Give us the dark side. Give us the dark side, right? She's make her the villain. She fully fell to the dark side. I don't know.
Right? Yeah. Like, what if they do?
It was too spoiled and turned bad.
Yep. Yeah, that would be that would be actually a really crazy 10, 11, 12. They actually go dark side Rey. Like after 9, she goes dark, straight Palpatine style. And then it's her being an Obi-Wan, but in the dark side of the Force, training acolytes to destroy the Jedi. Dude, that'd be crazy. We're already coming up with a better story. I'm sure that's not what's going to happen. Well, last thing I'll say about this, though, too, is could it just have been to get Star Wars in the news again before Skeleton Crew? Because this is also just like, is bad press. There's no such thing as bad press, right? It's still press. People are still talking about Star Wars. And then on the heels of this, they're like, oh, yeah, speaking of Star Wars, we got Skeleton Crew. At least they're looking at Star Wars now.